moves and it's still better leave. I'ma swap at the time and that's take it from me. When we jittery bass in 2 days, I'm on 3, I'm gone. Palomino Patron, Cappuccino Patron, Alameda song. Stack it up, stack it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit! What's up, gang? Welcome back. Welcome back to the pit, y'all.
Little bright.
Yo, yo.
It is I, your toast with the most, Satoshi. With me is the boys, right? We got Jedi back on stream after an obvious long vacation. Look at that shirt. And then we got RT, my main man. What's up, gang?
What's up, fellas? Good to see y'all.
Let's go.
We got Giga Chad Panda in the chat. Can't go wrong today. Good morning.
Solana, baby. Solana's almost at
Is it up, dude? Is Solana up right now?
bro. $100 knocking.
$100 after a beautiful breakthrough of a very important level yesterday. Let's dive in. I got to change it green. This thing has been a red box for the better part of a year. That was the chaos level. There it went, and here we are. And we're right through it. And if you zoom in, I get to move this up. Ooh, there we go. Maybe we'll move it up, and then this level will be the 382. Who knows? Anyways, low time frame or 4 hour. Anyways, you could see yesterday. I was watching this live as it happened. We had a really nice, significant candle on the volume down here, and that was kind of plowing into it, and then it just went bing, bing, chilled for a little bit, and then just bang. And that was a huge level. So after cutting through a big level like that, it's typically like just a pile on to get in. And that's what we're seeing today, which is fantastic. So really the last major weekly resistance, well, not the last one, but like the next big one was here. And we're just poking up saying hello. It's beautiful. What I want to know is what's the on-chain Solana eco doing? Is there exhaustion there? Is it following through?
I think meme season's getting ready for a 7th inning stretch, dude. It's a little
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that. We if you go and look up whiff, we can do it right now. I think we did this the other day. But if you were to just like type in whiff and then just look at what you see, right? And then obviously this is just like the hot garbage that creates horizontal dilution where like all of that new fun money, which I think was probably fueled by BONK, Solana, cat, whichever came first, chicken and egg. But, but then it gets rotated and rotated and rotated and rotated. And eventually
it's not horizontal dilution, dude. They all have different utility.
Out. Yeah, I bet. Can't wait to hear about dog with cat in a hat. But
dude, you
like
need one for each.
Cockroach with shoe that look like hat. My next V2 coming. So, that's happening. And it usually ends badly. If you think back to dog season circa May 2021. But did China ban Bitcoin mining because dog season had horizontally diluted? Or are those two things just mutually, exclusive events that I don't know?
So what's actually going on right now in the market is that you've got essentially your OGs who have ridden this rodeo a couple of times. Some of them have done it 3, and the very rare guys who didn't make it the first 3 times are doing it for the 4th time. And they've always found that meme coins are precursors to something nasty. I actually think for the first time ever, that's changing. I think this is really where it's different
this time.
So the human behavior.
He said the thing. He said the thing.
I think it's different.
He said the name of the movie in the movie.
So let's look at it. Let's look at it from a logical perspective. Whilst you guys laugh at me, let's look at it.
I'm just laughing because you have sat on the show with Brian, and he says when people start to tell you this time's different, get nervous. Okay, and I started the stream by saying I'm nervous, and now you said
it. So get nervous with this logic. I'm gonna at least provide you with logic. So
The key thing is that you were nervous.
Try not to interrupt me for 3 minutes, and let me finish.
Okay, fine.
I got you.
So we've got this Bitcoin ETF thing, right? How is it possible that we are ending with a beginning? How does that work? So I don't think it's possible that we are ending something in order to begin something else when the beginning of it is why this is happening. So that's my thesis. I don't believe that the meme coins are a precursor to disaster. I think they're a precursor to something bigger and faster and more interesting. And I think it's happening as we speak. Right now, if you go and look on chain, there is massive dilution. You were joking about it earlier on. And it's all going into the majors right now. Go and look at your charts. You guys love your charts more than I do. Solana's kicking the door down. You're about to short everything, but actually what's going to happen is that those majors are going to go through the roof over the next month or two.
Yeah, 100%, dude. Yeah,
I resent two of the things you said directly geared at me. Okay. But otherwise, look, we're here to find, first of all, we're not here to find confluence with one another. I don't think as a trader, you should ever sit around and be like, hey guys, don't we all like the same idea? Good, let's do it. Like if you go seeking for that, you usually end up in trouble. I'll just say this. I'm not going to short everything. And I don't even think saying nervous is the right word.
hackers are shorting crypto. Go, Justin Sun.
I'm not nervous because I'm in a really good position for whatever happens. And that's going to piss a lot of people off. People like to go on streams. They like to go on Twitter. They like to see a guy who's like all in on an idea. And they're just like, I called it. I longed it. Every dip, I longed it more. And if I'm wrong, I'm screwed. And if I'm right, I'm a genius. Like people love that kind of analysis. I think anything I say today should be taken in the context of I have a lot of vested positions in this market. And so if I went 100% to cash right now, I would be long on that. Market does well, I'll be okay. I'll be on for the ride. And then, if it dips down, I'll have cash. So I am like, for my liquid portfolio is probably like 52% cash right now. So that's how, bearish I feel. It's not really bearish. It's just about being like not stupid. I like to buy dips.
Let's look at the AVAX.
Help them staying poor, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go look at AVAX. And so it's not like I had some diabolical plan today where I'm like, I'm going to go short this market. Ha! Look at that. Stop loss hit, ? So like, oh, there it goes. Yeah. So I closed a position on BingX today, which I don't really trade on too much because as you guys know, I quit trading.
Really going to go to the top of the imbalance right now.
Yeah. I want to see your chart, the imbalance. Anyways. Oh, there it goes. Yeah. I basically found some spare change in the couch today and decided to strap on a little short against AVAX. And now I'm back in cash, slightly less change. Like it's not like some big diabolical plan to short the market. I think that would be a little silly. Just so we're clear.
Yeah.
So are you feeling that the market's frothy right now off the back of this idea that meme season is kind of like generally the thing that has ended badly in the past? Is that what you are using as a
no
point?
Well, look, I don't think meme season, like the dog shit season, I think is coming to an end. Or like you said, 7th inning stretch. That's not to say like Bitcoin's going to crash because dog season happened. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying like you can see it happening. I mean, we've seen the story before. You have a couple really cool meme coins. They go really hard, like Pepe even earlier this year. And then it's like, ooh, like this kind of Pepe and that kind of dog with a hat. And then all of that money, that what do we want to call it? Dumb money, meme money, right curve money, ends up spread out in a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Rotates. Now, I like your thesis that it's kind of coming into these L1s. There's a lot of evidence for that.
For sure it is.
Now, I don't know if that's, meme coin money moving to L1s or just new money coming in. But
the thing is, RT, I actually agree with you around the fact that we are coming to the end of a stretch that is whatever it might be. Call it meme season, diversified fucking shitcoin mayhem. But I think normally what happens is that it ends in really badly and then it kind of like ends this whole thing and people cry for 3 months and run away and I don't think that's going to happen. I think that what you're saying is definitely indicative that this thing is going to come to a grinding halt, but I don't believe it's going to stop this momentum. I think the momentum is going to get driven elsewhere, and it's going to go into the ETF. I mean, we've been watching ETH and waiting and waiting. I think ETH will do something, but it seems unlikely at this point in time. Maybe it's because I've accumulated a lot of ETH over the last 2 years, and I am hoping and I am biased, but it's not happening right now, and we haven't seen this before. So that's the reason why I make comments like, geez, it really does seem like it's different this time around, because ETH.
The only thing that's different,
I don't know why.
The only thing that's different is this is all happening before the halving. But if you just put it after the halving, it's super normal. And I think a lot of people forget, which is natural, like what the bull was like and is like. But if you assume this is the bull, this is all pretty typical behavior. And I'll say this, like we need to pull back imminent, ETF sell the news shit is starting to sound a lot like there's going to be a recession. Was all last year, where people, like, it was the consensus thing, all the smart people were saying it, and it just kept getting stuffed with rallies. And like, people were calling for pullbacks when Sol was at 64. People were calling for pullbacks on Bitcoin all the way up. Like, it does not have to happen, and shit can remain frothy for far longer. We're not even at like danger levels on fear and greed index. So I just think a lot, like, I think AVAX is going to complete its imbalance run at least. And that's a good indicator for where we are, because Sol already did it. Sol's now doing what Sol is catching up to Bitcoin in its relative chart. I think AVAX is going to catch up. Maybe we get FTM to do that before there's any kind of pullback. I just think everyone's way too prepared for a nuke.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's normal, right? This is the part of the cycle where even the bulls typically, you know, it's that disbelief. It's kind of like, I'm enjoying things, but I'm not supposed to have nice things, so I better prepare for a day when I don't. And let me ask you this though: what? And it's an obvious answer, but like, just to start a line of thinking, what is the catalyst that's driving the market right now? Like, what is the big news story, right? It's the Bitcoin.
For me personally, it's not the ETF.
No. See, I knew you're gonna come some smart ass answer. It's the fucking ETF. It's the Bitcoin ETF.
That's what boomers are fucking interested in.
That's why it's in the news. That's why the momentum started with Bitcoin down in September. Like,
sure,
it's the ETF. But Larry Fink.
The rest of us are waiting for a cycle, though, and you shouldn't fade that. Like the rest of us who have been here.
Let me finish my thinking.
Okay,
that hasn't happened yet. So this talk of tops and sell the news, you can't have a discussion about whether that was or was not until the thing has happened. And so I think any kind of major short grandstanding is stupid right now. We've got an uptrend. It's a strong uptrend. We've got strong volume. Everything's fucking humming. Like, let it go. Enjoy it. But telling people, like, people saying on Twitter, like, oh, it's not going to be sell the news. It's like, well, let us find out. Like, let the sell the news guys sell the fucking news. And let the guys who think that even after this major catalyst passes, we're going to just have a ton of energy to continue, let them stay long. You know, there's a lot of this kind of like make me change my mind stuff talking about sell the news isn't going to happen before it happened. It couldn't have happened yet, right? Because the ETF hasn't been approved. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call, like, I wouldn't dance on sell the news doors graves until the news happens.
Oh, I'm not saying that. What I'm just saying is that, like, we're already getting really smart, good traders saying 2024, all of it will be mostly sideways.
Yeah, like, I had a conversation with somebody today who I respect, and he is and yeah, he trades with size, but no, he's looking to cut a lot of his positions down through Q1, early Q1, like, and so that made me wonder, like, how much of this profit is being held onto to avoid a taxable event until Jan 1st, one, and then two, how much of this is like, hey, let's ride the wave while the ETF thing comes, but then we're going to be catalystless for a little while, and we have lots of good ones coming. We got the Halvening, we've got 8 weeks probably until the actual ETF goes live after the approval. Plenty to come, but to not have a period of cooling in it after that, to me, is like very unlikely.
What was the
Say
catalyst
that.
for us going absolutely fucking nuts for 2.5 years in 2020?
Global liquidity conditions.
Okay, that's quite nebulous. I don't think that's an actual catalyst. That's just something that happens every 3 years.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not that compelling, and we
Greed.
don't need like we don't need a big news narrative. We maybe need one to spark something like Elon bought for Tesla a balance sheet or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But like we don't need a big narrative catalyst. Like, and I think a lot of the analysis right now is that narratives like are preceding price action, and that doesn't seem right to me. I don't know. I have a hard time buying that. Like, people are bending over fucking backwards, doing backflips to say that this cycle won't be exactly like every other fucking cycle has been. You know,
Won't be or
like,
will be?
won't be. Like everyone is bending over backwards to say it won't be.
Huh. I don't know.
It's
I
wild.
try this. This is also, let's just point out, because, and I usually do this, like I just regress back to like, you know what, fuck it, let's just trade the trend. You know, showing dying volume and bear divs at the top of like a strong uptrend, and I'll start to feel a little concerned or bearish. But until then, like, fuck off, because the story doesn't really matter, right? And that's usually where I end up because we go in circles. But what is happening right now, what you will see undoubtedly, is this acceleration or intensification of this kind of conversation, right? It's like, it's a top, it's not a top, it's a top, it's a sell the news. Like,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, nobody fucking knows. I would just play the probability that like there will be some pukes before, say, like a post-halving mega pump.
Yeah.
And that's not, maybe
We have
maybe
seen
it's a
that.
little
We've
wishful
seen that in
thinking.
the past. We've seen that in the past before.
We've seen it
actually happened.
100% of the time.
Yes, absolutely.
When a
Well,
major
let's run
catalyst
down-
passes, 100% of the time. It's a never fail strategy. It's just about, timing it, trying to actually put a short on for it. Like, I think the idea is like, hey, number go up, big, 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 big. Pay yourself a little. Prepare yourself for the outcomes. Like, it's not, I think a lot of people on Twitter are trying to make it an all or nothing. Like, they want to be the guy. I saw you getting into it with Mr. Wick yesterday, Jedi. He's like, I'm the most bullish on Solana. And you're like,
he posts, I've been the most bullish on Solana. I'm like, no, dude, not just you. You're not the only one. And then he came at me, and I'm like, dude, have you posted? And I'm like, not only did we post, we actually wrote a whole lot of fucking research articles, bitch. And then
he was flexing his ability to be bullish during dips, which is super lame. But like, I don't follow that guy because I've seen his account before, and he's selling things. I mean, he's a salesman, and so he's not a pure analyst. I really like analysts who don't sell things, and I think if you want to go sell shit, that's cool. But you're a new category now. You're a salesman, and everything you say, I think, is to sell things, not to actually maybe, seek truth or whatever. So I kind of laughed. I was reading your thing, and then I was going to jump in and be like, say something to that effect, but I didn't want to have to respond to him again. Like, it was such a waste of time.
What I'm seeing a lot of now.
He blocked what I wrote. He actually removed it.
Oh, did he? Oh,
yeah.
That's a salesman thing, right? He's like, I don't want anyone standing in the way of this image I've created. That it's super lame.
I'm getting sick of seeing people taking credit for coins going up. Like, dude, fucking going up. Like, people with the "I gave you this at this price." It's like, dude, you didn't give me shit. You didn't invent it. You didn't contribute. You fucking bought a very very fucking meaningless percentage of the supply, and then you fucking shilled it. You didn't do shit. And like, people are making these coins. There's these coins, and their calls on these coins are becoming their identity again, and that shit bothers me because it's like people don't shut up about it. Like in the pit, there was someone
everywhere.
Yeah, it was in the pit. There was someone who, like, we were talking about BRC20s, and they kept talking about Cock Inu, like they were going to derail our conversation about a different fucking absolute sector because they called Cock Inu really early. It's like, dude, we're talking. So shut up about cock, dude.
Yeah. The signs are everywhere, dude. And it's okay. It's okay for markets to go through cycles and like cycles within cycles. This is the funny thing. The thing I love, and then we can move on. Let's like talk about real analysis. But the thing I love I guess analyzing the sentiment is kind of analysis, but it's just super unquantifiable. But thing I love is when you get two people, like one guy's like, we're at the top, and then he's like, how could we be at the top? It's 2023. Like, because he's thinking about the big cycle, and this guy's thinking about like this current little run that we're having, which by all intents and purposes on many coins does look exhausted. But one thing that I love about this market more and more is the maturity of it, in not in the humans, but in the assets. Like, you can have something like Maker, which we talked about shorting a month ago. And during this whole mania, or whatever you want to call it, what's going on, like, this thing's been playing out perfectly. I mean, we've basically pipped that. And so it's not like 2017 where everything just moved in lockstep and there was like a couple outliers, and then it got better in 2020, 2021 with USD pairs coming in and not just Bitcoin pairs on trading exchanges, DEXs. And it's just getting better and better and better. So you can have this like dots up 18% today, just ripping, near ripping, Solana ripping, like the L1s are going off.
Pocket, Jewel, ripping.
HBAR, yeah, GameFi. Like, I haven't even looked on AVAX chain and some of the game stuff going on.
I have a question. I have a question for you guys, which is really in line with what it is that you're identifying now. And the question is, do you think that, coming back to what you said earlier, is do you think the maturity of this market will afford us the opportunity to see rallies in different sectors where other sectors will be completely dormant and even going in reverse, to the extent that you don't identify the difference between like full-blown bear and bull, but you will still have those uptrends even during a bear? Like, obviously not as much.
During the bear. We got that.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And that to me was like almost like just a lack of liquidity in the market. You know, the impact of that in the bear was like there was like a single hot ball of money just like floating around an empty room, you know. And it was just like everyone, the little bit of attention and capital that was left was just kind of like laser eyes on one thing after another. But to the broader question, I think long term it's inevitable. And it's kind of like you see in the stock market. It's like the indices will have their bulls and their bears, cycles or trends. But within, you know, it's like Brian always says, like, there's always a bull somewhere. And then there'll just be like a little sector rally. And you get that in fact, I think we could pull that up on the dashboard here. They have kind of this, right, where you have like, you know, bonds and commodities and funds and currencies, S&P. Like, these are not the big sectors like utilities and energy and whatever, but yes, I think crypto will grow to a point where you do have sector specific stuff. It's kind of already emerging, but it is still somewhat in lockstep with Bitcoin. But yeah, I think that will just continue to get more and more proliferated. I don't know what the word is.
I got a mega top signal this past week. There's been a bunch of white names. White names, for those of you who don't know, in the pit, when someone's new, their name isn't colored because they don't have a rule, so they're white. Call them white names because they usually invade at times of peak froth. There's like 20 new white names in the pit, and a lot of them are like alts of someone who was previously in the pit, now just trolling us. And so it's hard to really tell. But there's been some new white names who are like BTC maxis and BRC20 maxis. And he's like, and this has to be a troll, or there really is that much of a top signal. He was like, I've studied the Bitcoin chart for the past 8 months, and I know that it will never go under 42K again.
Oh, I think I saw that guy yesterday. Yeah, somebody was talking to me today, and I responded to him like a human, and you were like, don't engage. Don't engage. Like,
don't feed the trolls.
Tango in the bushes. Back out.
They're either trolling, and if they're not trolling, they're definitely not worth talking to.
That's not to say new members of the pit are not welcome with open arms.
No, we got a white name, Queen NFT, a white name joined the pit who Coach knows from way back, I guess. She came in the pit. We were talking about FTM season potentially approaching, like a little FTM rotation when it goes to 95 cents. And she was like, oh, I have a bunch of this. And she showed us this coin called Chill, where the mascot is like a rainbow colored gel capsule pill. And I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I looked at the chart and I was like, holy moly. Like, it not only was like exploding, but it looked like it had a lot more left in it. And then like 2 days later, she had like a 5x on it. I was like, you're a goat.
Sick. Is it on FTM?
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Oh yeah.
she showed it when it was not even past the highs, I think.
Like here.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah.
Sorry, not
No.
even past that first high. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I remember that because I saw that. I seem to recall some kind of like chart of something like this. That's crazy. Nice to
Yeah.
catch things like this before that. I mean, 72K liquidity. What are you doing over here? Maybe a couple $100, but
Yeah. White names are not always unwelcome, just when they troll. But yeah, like basically said they were watching the price action at 40K and they could tell that it was institutions and retail. And that we're never going to go below 40K ever again. And I was like, holy shit. If this isn't a troll, we're going to 35K right now.
yeah.
You're on
Look,
mute. For real.
We're gonna fuck around and we're gonna find out. I'm curious to, I'm curious. Like, I think rather than staring at Bitcoin and worrying about that, which I actually did like way earlier, like maybe, I mean, you guys remember it was when I was trying to trade Bitcoin a lot, like right through here. Like I was doing that here because there was like a big RSI daily rollover and I was picturing something like this into the event. And so, since then I've stopped doing that and I haven't resumed doing that. But just today, for the very first time, I was like, you know what? I'm going to snap off like a little like penny short against the highs here on AVAX. And I got ass blasted. I was up $2,200 when the stream started. And before we could even talk about it, it was stopped out.
Well, that's the thing, dude. It's what I'm seeing is that there's still some people, for instance, who think their best next move is to short TIA, which is up 600% in a matter of like 2 weeks for a fucking a 20% retrace. Like that's your best trade idea right now. We're going to go so much higher. This shit's going to infinity if that's what people think, because you top out when those types of ideas have all been smashed out of the market, when people no longer can even think to short. That's when we talk. But if people are
we're seeing that. Yeah, we're definitely seeing that. And I'm not, because I've been like that in 2019 going up, Bitcoin going up in the spring. I was very inexperienced in the market, relatively speaking. Like it was my first real drawdown and then my first real rebound after the bear. And I spent a lot of time in that like insanity of disbelief where you're just shorting something that's clearly very strong. And I got blown up for like half a Bitcoin, which was a lot at the time. And I was very distraught. And I've lived on the wrong side of a bull trend before, and it sucks. And so I didn't do that this time. I think, usually it's like one or two, and I'm like, what are you doing? And you just move on and Joe buy some bags, and they moon, and everything's good. But yeah, this was my little AVAX move today, but it got stopped at short order. It's all good.
I have another question, just from a
I want to talk about
so this is the compromise, and I think maybe this is more a question for you, Toasty, and that is that are you approaching the market? Are you considering having a cautious perspective on the market right now in light of kind of like all these frothy indicators? I mean, you admitted that you've seen a couple. Do you have kind of like fail safes? Are you driven purely from leverage trading at the moment, or are you in spots? And if you're in spot, do you have kind of like stop orders on those? I mean, how are you managing this whole thing from a purely conscious trading perspective? So question for you, Toasty, first, and then RT, I really want to hear your answer as well.
I've got I got a gang of USDC that I'm slinging leverage with because I can set stops, and because that's my capital if we do get a retrace and I can buy some cheap prices. I've got probably about 20% of my like deployed capital is in like Cosmos staking positions that I'm not touching for like at least a year, maybe a year and a half. And then I've got like a bunch of Sol NFTs that I'm probably not touching. And just I've got like airdrop farming positions. So I'm kind of like, there is portions of my capital that I'm just not touching for a year. And then, but like I'm still trying to capture upside on leverage because like I can have stop losses, and if they hit, I have cash to buy whatever dips may come.
Great answer, RT.
Specifically, what's the question? Like how I'm positioned?
Not necessarily how you position, but more you the more conscious out of the three of us. And it sounds like Toasty is as well, but are you more conscious of the frothiness, the danger? How are you still participating in the market right now? And more importantly, how are you protecting yourself from potential downside that you are very certain is coming?
Yeah, well, I think that's the context I wanted to touch on before. I'm sitting, like I say this every single day. I say, always play for a position of strength. My position of strength is owning a house, is having more than I have in this market, which for the first time ever. Well, since I got into this market, I was always like 92% net worth in crypto. And this cycle from last one, I managed to get a lot out. And so that's still out. That's still sitting, now, 25% of it is in crypto stocks. So like I got that exposure there. But point is that's plus the vested positions. I keep investing in shit through my fund or as an angel, like whether it's a slug here, a slug there. I keep reducing the liquid amount that I'm touching within my crypto portfolio and like placing shit out on like new L1s that are coming or new projects. IntentX, obviously, we talked a lot about. And so that's really how I'm positioning myself, because I'm fairly confident, I would say almost certain, that we're just going to have like a rip fuck you like bull market coming soon. Really happening right now, but like I think in the next few years it's going to get even more disgusting. And so I'm happy to make those investments. And in a way, it makes my decisions today easier because I'm not playing with huge numbers in front of me. And I'm also way more comfortable taking on some cash positions through this month, because I know if it's like, oh no, everything kept going up, it's like, that's great news, dude. So my position of strength right now is to be mostly invested and then just playing a little tighter with the cash that I have. And I should point out, like, I've had a really good month for me. I'm happy with the gains that I made over the last 3-4 weeks, even things like DSO and things like HNT. Like I was basically like 30 to 40% of my position was HNT, and then like 30 to 40% of my portfolio was DSO. And if we can go to those charts, those, like I built big positions in those relative for my portfolio. And like, look at HNT. Like, look at the weekly on that. I was in here in September, October, November, just buying this stuff. And so, yeah, I'm comfortable taking some cash here. Chaos levels, fib extensions, some signs of exhaustion on volume, some signs of exhaustion on lower time frame momentum indicators. I'm going to take that cash. DSO,
Right.
very similar vibe. Although it's a thinner book, but same thing, coming into that chaos level. Now, I'd like to say I was in here buying. I actually sold, as we know, right before, but then I picked it up at this first little bit, thanks to Rob reshilling me at about $13. And so I've still got a pretty decent sized position in DSO. I'm not really looking to sell it as much. I did cut a little up here because I really want that powder ready to go. So it's not to say like I don't want anyone to get the impression that I'm missing out on this market. I've cashed in really nicely in December, so I'm just grabbing that cash. Now, probably would have been smarter, and I think most people are waiting for January 1st, because I'm going to have that increased tax bill coming in the spring now. But I didn't want to I don't know. I don't like to play the market too much for tax reasons as much as just to like play what I think is, if my TP hits, I'm going to take it.
So
did that answer your question? I don't know. I kind of rambled there, but that's where
no. You know what you've done, dude. So I'll tell you exactly what you've done, and hopefully I can articulate it for everyone that's listening and for me as well, is that what you've done inadvertently actually is that you've actually laid out an understanding as to how you are perceiving the market at the moment based on your experience, obviously. But the most important thing is that you are arming us with the perspective that there are options beyond going and aping into a meme coin so that you can make 1000x. It's kind of like if you do that and you do make the money, these are the options that are available to you. It's not about going and aping into the next 1000x, even though you want to. It's about preserving the capital that you've just made and then making those decisions that allow you to diversify. 2-3 months ago, Toasty wasn't interested in DeFi. That was the furthest thing from his mind. And then I watched a stream that he did. I watched a stream that he did last week, and he's talking about shit that is so beyond my understanding and concept of DeFi. And I'm like, well, welcome back, motherfucker. The point is what you're doing, RT, is that you are providing perspective around capital preservation, diversification, understanding what your limitations are, but more importantly, being exposed to a market that you believe in, not only for the short, but for the long term. Those are the lessons that I picked up out of your delivery on what it is that you're doing and how you're protecting yourself in potential fallout in the market. So thank you very much for that, sir. It has been taken to heart.
Appreciate it. Let's flip back to the chart. I mean, I'll show you guys a live look. This is my portfolio right now from a capital outlay. Now, sometimes you look at this and you say, okay, those are the 7 projects you're the most bullish on. I was like, not necessarily. Those are just the trades that I'm in, right? I loaded up some guac this week because I saw Solana start to rip. Guac was like tickling the reload zone. I was like, that's probably a nice proxy. I've got a say position that is close to a double. I'll sell half of that when it comes in. Then I'm just going to be like free rolling say, probably stake it if there's a stake somewhere. Neon is a cool one that, HNT is my free position that's left. I've sold my core trade position, as I mentioned. DSO is on chain. I'm just going to leave it there. There's a staking thing coming out soon. I'd rather stake it because it's kind of a thin book. I don't trust myself to be able to like sell it here and buy a bit back. I'm doing that with a little bit, but 80% of my bag is just going to be chilling. And then this is the cash that I've essentially taken back, right? I was 100% long probably like 3 times in the last 2 months. And now I'm comfortable here. And then, so it's really coming into like a 50-50 zone. And each of these positions are either free or almost about to be sold half on doubles. So like I said, nervous is not the word. I'm very comfortable. I'm just, it's always nice to maximize things. Like, did I get anything on BONK or any of these other meme coins? No, but honestly, I don't have the time for that shit. I'm on calls. I got a job within the space. Like, I'm working on stuff. I cannot be flipping shit coins the way that you guys do on Solana in the pit. It's make your head spin. I probably should have done more like casually, like, parking some and then selling halves on doubles and messing around. Definitely could have done that. But the whole game you guys play, every time I come in the pit, there's a new one. And then there's like another rug. I'm like, nah, I can't keep up with you kids.
Casually play that game.
No, it's like a full-time thing. And you know what? You could argue in retrospect, what's the best use of my time? It's, opinions that change on that month to month. But for now,
it's an evolution, dude. I think you are further down that evolutionary scale. It's not to say that playing the shitcoin market on the level that some of the guys are doing in the pit is a lesser vocation. I think it's like, what are your priorities? What do you want to get? I want to spend time with my kids. I want to do this. I want to do that. Whereas when you're doing the shitcoin thing, fuck, dude, that's full tilt.
Yeah, that's full tilt. Something I would have done in my youth, my early crypto years for sure. Did my stop loss just mark the high for AVAX? Tune in next week to find out. That was my little scalp. And now it's just absolutely nuking. I was just looking at Bitcoin today on the Agger and, in general. And I was just like, man, Christmas coming up, like, it doesn't have to be like some macro top, but like, it just doesn't seem like we're going to fly off to new highs up here during Christmas or in the Friday of Christmas. Like, I feel like we're just living in the zone at the best case scenario for now. So that's why. And then I saw, AVAX and Solana ripping, not shorting Solana. No way. I thought AVAX was almost being dragged up, kicking and screaming by Solana today. That's why I took that. And we'll find out if
AVAX has been stronger than Solana over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
except
I noticed
for like
that.
the last 2 days.
Yeah, it felt like a catch-up game. Anyways, it looks like but this is also why I stopped leverage trading, right? Like my life has been so good. My life has been so relaxing since I stopped thinking about P&L and just like started positioning myself in like spot trades.
Oh, sorry. I passed out while you were talking about not leverage trading for a second.
And then look at this. Like this is retarded. Look at that price action. So I'm back on the sauce.
Yeah. Damn. Fucking went up to stop you out and then nuked, huh?
Yeah.
Literally.
Yep. It literally
exactly-
did that. It was like
literally-
right into the short reload zone,
Yeah.
my little, perfect. And then started dipping pre-stream. I was like, oh, cool. Okay. I'm going to move stop to break even soon.
Damn,
Before we
I can't even see that on the 4-hour chart. Like,
It's
I
been,
know.
it's
wick.
been doing a lot of this kind of like it goes, it like nukes a bit, takes a breather, and then it goes straight back fucking up again. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's been
I
nonstop.
do. I think time of week too. It's Thursday, Friday into the holiday. Like I don't know. For the first time in really a month since I stopped leverage trading and moved money off that account, the first time today, I thought, you know what? I feel like taking a shot against these highs today because on the daily, like you said, you can't even see all that. But if you look back, and and this kind of marks like a little midterm top, like they all start in the 15 minutes. So, anyways, I took a shot. Looking at this volume, it's just not a good trade. Like on the daily time frame, you're like, nothing but lots of buying. Excellent. I think I'll short. Like it's not the way you should operate in the market. So that's why I don't make a habit of it. But I did today.
Here, let me share my screen real quick for a second.
Please do. I'm tired of looking at the AVAX 50.
Real quick.
So the next chaos zone for Solana is $139.
Dude, yeah, it seems like everyone's looking for 140 to 150. All right.
Just before you go, you share, Toasty, I want to just make one statement around the whole top thing. What I think also dawned on me, and what it is that you were talking about earlier on is, and I have given a couple of people a hard time that have been calling tops and $65 Solana and the rest of it, is that I think people have taken trades along the way, just the way that you have, where those tops have come in, those chaos levels have hit, they've taken profit, and they're like, okay, well, this thing's breathing now. It's actually taking a break. But then what I think is happening is that they're not really aware that something like Solana is not stopping for anyone right now. Neither are a couple of others. They will come to a point where they will stop. We know this. But I think that I almost suspect that we're seeing a lot of these kind of like tops coming in at different times. Whereas, have we really had that before? Has it been like individual momentum, or has it been more collective momentum that we've seen in the past?
No, dude, 2017 fucking like, what was it, like November Bitcoin topped and then ETH and alt season went in 2018, January. Same thing with like 2021, like all of our biggest gains came after BTC had topped in 2021.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, the 30 days following the Bitcoin top on December 17th, 2017 is when you got like 500, 100Xs.
Yeah, dude, Walmart's integrating Walton Chain.
Yeah, dude, Walton Chain was one of my first big wins. And it was actually the first time I decided I wanted to be a trader, because I was in the chat and I was talking about it, and some guy DM'd me and he's like, lower. And I was like, what? And it was like the second day after launch, and he's like, bid lower, because I said I was going to set some bids. And so I started hitting him up, and I set some bids, and he's like, no, lower. And I moved them down. It was a brand new chart. So he was talking about like negative price discovery on like the 5-minute. Anyways, I go to bed. I'm still, full-time teacher, trading like a couple $100, a couple $1,000. I go to bed. Every bid filled perfectly in the abyss of whatever the hell was down there, what he saw. And it was back up. And then it went on that insane face rip.
Nice.
And I never forgot that. And I was just like, bro, how'd you know? And he's like, and he just like winked at me and he's like, have fun. And ever since that day, I was like, I need to learn how to trade.
Nice.
So Walton Chain has a special special
WTC,
spot in my heart.
baby, and power lender.
Toasty, share your screen.
Yeah, so check it out, gang. Here's been
tits.
literally the most profitable thing I've done TA wise in probably all year.
Do me a favor, close your watch list and push F11. Give us that big sexy view.
I'm not sharing my whole screen, just like a part of it. I have a wide ass screen.
Okay, sorry. Continue.
So to be, I mean, maybe it'll work. Hold on. Does that work?
There you go. There you
Yes,
go.
it does. Looks cool.
All right, cool.
Much better.
All right, so check it out. Bitcoin has this monthly imbalance, right? Could be called the thin auction, could be called the fair value gap, could be called imbalance, where there's like every different trading style has a term for these naked candle body sections with no overlapping wicks. This is it on Bitcoin. It ran up to test the bottom of it, retrace, ran up, midpoint, little pause, ran up, top, little pause, and then mooning above it. Okay. Here is Solana. Ran up, pause at the midpoint, ran up, and I mean it's now over it, which is surprising to me. But this pause at the midpoint is really what's been guiding me, and it's what got me to sell AVAX at 43. So I've been noticing that they just kind of run a little bit past that midpoint, then retrace. So I sold at 43, bought back in at around 38. Should have bought back in at 36 because it went there, but neither here nor there. And now what do I expect it to do? It's going to go here and probably over, I think. Here's total 3 though. Total 3, I'm seeing the exact same thing, bud. There's your imbalance. Midpoints at 540 billion. I think we're going to go there before any major pullbacks. TBH, if I'm being completely honest. Maybe we get a major pullback on BTC that causes alts to like die for a little bit. But I mean, its end destination is the top of this range in my mind. I won't accept any other explanations. What do you guys think of that?
I love that when you switch it to total, it just looks sexy because that means we have so much more fun.
Yeah.
And if that was to happen, like you said, 2017, okay, ETF launches, there's like a blow off moment. It like chills after that. And then there's all this panic. It's all the news. And then it just chills through some kind of like consolidation period. And alts just go fucking bananas. Oh, that would be good. I wouldn't catch the meat of it as you just saw. I'm in a little cash, but oh, I'd love that. Except for that also marks the top for a long time when it happened last time. So
I just think if someone is explaining something to me right now and it starts or ends with then a long drawn out pause or then sideways for an entire year, I'm checked out. Like, cool, you're not a serious person. We're done talking.
Maybe not. Like, that's kind of where I go with that. They're like, well, then this is going to happen. And then they get really extrapolate about it. And I'm like, maybe not. I don't know what value I can take from that comment. Like, I don't know.
Let's throw on the halvings, right? It's like you are here or like potentially you're here.
Yeah.
But
that's what you think. Because you got your 40% in a day bet.
I kind of think we're like here, except that doesn't make sense time-wise. So it's like kind of new paradigm stuff. Like there is no previous cycle that really follows.
We had COVID, right? So COVID can't really.
Let me throw on log.
Well, here's the thing. I would go with the physics of the market before I would go with
I'm tired of people saying COVID's a black swan. It's like, yeah, it was, but like we have lots of black swans.
No. I'm not saying that it was a black swan. What I'm saying is that there is a slight anomaly kind of going into that halvening because of that event. The halvening still happened. Everything proceeded as planned or as per the script that was.
Yeah. Okay, I see what. Yeah.
So I think there's a very good chance that just go back to the third halvening quickly, because obviously the second halvening is more of an indicator. But I think if you take that really horrible fucking big hole, we could be at the top of that where the top is now, directly where your dotted line is, and then we have a bit of a dip going into the halvening. Not as strong as that.
A small dip.
As strong as that, because that's
a little dipsy doodle.
Yeah, but more. You get a dip, but it kind of like draws out like the second one.
It's quite possible that we're here, or here. But either way, like there's usually right before or right after the halving. There is some big correction, sure, but nowhere near or after the halving do I see months of sideways. Like that doesn't really occur. Like maybe you could say this shelf.
That was the most sideways period of time in the history of humans.
Right. But like, is it that boring though? Like we just fucking but we were not for me. I was kind of checked out, but like the point of it is that this is sideways, sure, but it's a consolidation after a
recovery, sick recovery.
161% pump, dude. So like I'm kind of
shit
fine
that you
with
bought at the bottom of that, like even in the bottom little range of that, BNB was $6. Like you could have bought anything in the 2 days around that crash and been at a double free position on your whole life for the whole cycle. I mean, that was a sick event.
3
in
Bitcoins personally right here.
Yeah, me too.
4,500 on Robinhood.
I've had this conversation before. Yeah,
Robinhood
we both caught that retest of the lows. It was sexy,
dude. I
sexy.
didn't know TA. I wasn't looking at charts. I saw on the news that there was like turmoil in the markets segment or whatever, and I was like, oh, buy when there's blood in the streets, and I just dumped shit into Bitcoin, Ethereum, Apple, Google, Tesla. Yeah,
that was Rich Dad Poor Dad's moment. Like that was his moment to shine. And you know what he did? He posted like a bearish target of like 2K.
Such a knob.
Like the guy's been calling for a major market crash for his entire life, it seems. When the major market crash happened, he's like, all right, here it is. We're going to 2K. I'm like, yo, you missed your own dip. He missed his own dip. He doesn't get to have joy. I never actually read that book. Someone recommended I read it, and then I saw
Rich Dad Poor Dad was actually really good, like from a fundamentals perspective, and then everything post that was terrible.
Yeah. But then look at this, dude. Like, if there's anything that actually feels like right now on this chart, it's this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because we're close. We're getting like closer to the highs than we have on any other similar move, right?
From a technical perspective, that's exactly where we are, right? You had your bear market, and now we're coming up for the first real test of those, like, you know, that reload zone, that 618 that a lot of people are talking about, that 50K, whatever it is, 52K. So like, and then, you know, and I wouldn't try to line it up time-wise. The time is going to change, but the physics of the market, that's where we are. And actually, it makes so much sense to even get some price action like that coming soon, right? Where you have your ETF announcement kind of takes us into that 618, and then we just get a period of that exact kind of sideways down chop garbage into the halving.
This is it. This is what you're talking about right here. 48. That makes a lot of sense, dude.
And then go back and look at the price action that followed that high, because that's actually the kind of cool down that I'm expecting. And I don't think I'm alone. I mean, I think that's the top callers or the sell the news callers. That's probably what they're looking at. And look at that. And then you go through the halvening, maybe just delete that COVID nuke unless there is some kind of world event that causes it. But it's more likely that we have what we maybe were supposed to have last.
More of a gradual than as opposed to the.
It's gonna suck, dude. Yeah, it's gonna suck. It's gonna go from like, oh my god, ETF excitement, memes are mooning, to like just sideways down, up, down garbage. The same thing we had this year in March, whatever it was, May, June, July, like off and on. It was just painful, hard to trade, and that's the period of time. Anyone watching this, if you've just had a really great time and you made all this money, like, that's the period of time where you just want to try to not give it back. Getting into leverage to offset the boredom, whatever it is, like it is the give your money back period before what I would say is like the real party starts. And I don't know about the whole COVID crash part of that fractal, but I certainly expect
I've made it smaller
one to look a lot like that kind of slow, boring drawdown consolidation. And you know what? If you're a real staunch, long-term, high time frame bull, you don't mind that. You probably want to see it. That's the healthy setup for the next cycle.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's also like these longer-term conviction plays that, I mean, I've been advocating and being supportive of, is that for me, the shitcoin market is merely a means to the end. That's to load up my long-term spot bags. I don't care if tier in its current form goes to $6 right now. Actually don't care, honestly. Even if I might have picked up some at $9 and $10, for me, over the period of the year that follows, will make life-changing money just off spot.
Yeah. That's the spirit, right? That's the spirit. Now, the reason it's so important to take some cash into an account for guys like me, I'm not going to tell people to do that, But for me, it's so important because I know myself. And if I'm experiencing these dips and I'm seeing these dips and I don't have the powder to buy them,
lose your mind.
I'm going to lose my mind, right? I don't want to be all in just because I know in a year it'll be higher, or I think I know in a year it'll be higher. I need to be able to buy those dips, and I need to be able to buy them like not get so drawn down into them that buying them feels bad. So I know me, 50% cash is where I'm happy right now. If we do rip higher through whatever this announcement is in January, I think because you really want to see bullish Januaries. As Brian always teaches in TRI, like the January barometer is the first 2 weeks of January. How the indices, S&P, how the NASDAQ, how they start the year is typically how the year is going to go. And we saw that this year in January, right? Right out of the gates, everything just kind of ripped a little higher, and then we had a great year. So that January barometer is actually going to tie in really nicely with this ETF announcement if it was to come in like that sort of first week, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because if that announcement comes and, indices, whatever, rate announcements, whatever, like if we just move higher through early Jan and then that marks like a local high, that's actually great news for the year and good news for those who paid themselves through this mania, this wildness, and are looking to like get some nice discounts in the spring or whatever. Q1, Q2.
Someone in the chat asked about the Tau chart, and like anyone who is doing TA on this chart on the weekly, don't listen to him. IMO, like, because look at it. Like, what is there to say about this chart? But if you go down to the daily, like, you got bear divs, you got triple bear divs, and
I sold my Tau. I was late to Tau. I bought like 300, sold 325. Like I
would not be at all surprised if you end up here. Like, right? Like
that's it. That's the buy that you should want to buy across the board. And I guess the last, I'm really beating this horse dead today, but the other thing I'll say, this is not about making a prediction. I think the market will top. I think it'll go down. It's just about saying, where do I want to buy? When do I want to buy? I don't want to buy in the market when friggin' all the people in my life are calling me, telling me about like, oh, look at this dog coin. Like, that's not when I want to deploy my capital. I already had deployed capital. That's when I want to take my profit, which I just did now. I'm going to take a little more in the January once the calendar turns. But it's like, when do I want to be doing it? I want to be doing it during the puke. And even if we are, and I believe we are, heading into a very aggressive bullish cycle here, there's always puke for weeks at a time, months at a time. We just saw it on the 2019 fractal, but like Tau, I mean, Guac, go look at Guac. People were telling me about Guac. Like, Guac just hit the reload zone, and it's a Solana shitcoin. Solana's making new highs, and look at Guac. It's just chilling. Like, it came off so hard and tapped the reload zone. Like, yes, now I'm a buyer. Show me those. Show me those, because those are where it's fun and safe and easy to buy.
I also picked up some Guac Avos, dude. They're NFT.
Oh yeah,
NFT staking coming for Guac.
I'm in the Guac club big time now. It's one of my bigger remaining bags, or new bags, I guess.
I also have a bag of guac, and I also picked it up when you posted. I was looking at the exact same thing.
Nice. Yeah, I felt good about that one. I'm not too sure it has to rip here. I think it could go sideways in this zone for the next few months, but it's that's
this thing doesn't want to stop, dude.
This thing's going to $1, dude.
What is this? Is this WIF?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it said Swift. I was like, is this a new Swift?
I missed this one, unfortunately.
I pulled like 5 figures out of this thing. Will not die.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So that started like in the fractions of pennies, eh?
Yeah. To everyone who's in this, I'm stoked for you guys. Sweet. I think this has been an amazing one. It's been great.
I am enjoying the hats, like the pictures of the dogs with hats and whatnot. It is pretty cute.
It rocks.
Some legends.
I just think I do think we get a big retrace. I do think that ETF is probably a sell the news event, and I do think that we will probably touch 35K before we actually like go full retard, but or re-rard. I do think all those things, but I just kind of don't think yet.
Yeah,
just kind of don't think it's
when I said that too before the stream, like I'm always early. I don't
Yeah.
mind being early. I've, and the only problem with being early to this kind of stuff is that the best part of the move is always at the end.
Well, you've been conditioned to buy. Everyone has been conditioned to buy every dip all the way up this. I mean, let's be honest, all the way up all this, we've been conditioned to buy every dip. And so for that reason, it's better to be early than late, because if you're late, you'll think it's a dip for buying.
Yeah. I've learned that the hard way. And yeah, and like sometimes it is the case of like, near Solana, like my Solana take profit hit at $80 the other day, and fairly instantly on the low time frames, it's like, this is going to go a little higher, but like I've got a sweet position now. It's a free position. I'm going to go stake it. Like I'm not going to rush into my next trade just yet. But it's very easily could be like 80 to 100 in one day. Like the best part of this whole thing, the easiest part of the trade was at the end that maybe I missed, but
what do you think of this, dude?
Not worried about it at all. I like the W, but it's
We like
also this
W.
is consolidation where you just go MW, 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 and it's like it's fairly signalless noise. Signal-less, lacking in signal. I don't know.
Signal-less.
Yeah, singles.
Singles.
There are some things that are starting to die, and they all exist on ETH mainnet.
Yeah, no, ETH mainnet is a wasteland, and I regret some of my life choices. Having a couple bags over there, but I don't have it. Well, you guys saw my bags. I don't really have too many, but I did pick up a couple for the fund, like Uni and CVX when I saw ETH starting to rip. I've since to revisit those. I think they're back to break even. So wah.
I think this chart is insanely sexy, dude.
Yeah, this thing is going to go, and when it goes, it's going to melt everyone.
Okay, and tell me about these color boxes. I saw you posted the other day. I was kind of like, ha, that's a cool box.
This is in ICT trading, inner circle trader trading, which is like the trading style du jour all over CT and everywhere else, especially in FX.
Michael?
And it's
Michael's thing?
Yeah, something like that. It's all about like liquidity, and they talk about smart money concepts. Anyways, this is a concept in it, but just like the FVG thing I showed you, the imbalances, it has a corollary in every other style of trading, right? So, corollary.
That's a good word.
Corollary. Set a simple range, right?
Yeah.
Simple ass range. No, nothing fancy. All right. This is a PO3 setup in ICT trading where you're building liquidity at both sides in a range for days or weeks. And then you drop under the range. Then you reclaim the range, and usually it extends beyond the top of the original range.
How do you measure, like specifically like that green box? I was like, that's a rather enlarged box. How do you, is there a measurement to that, or you throw it
just
out
for lulls? No, could be here.
Okay. Because I was like, yo, damn, how did you come up with that? Because I could see it. But
then again, like lately I've just been memeing like ridiculous targets, and they hit. So like for instance, I literally longed here and had a target of $4.50 for no reason. I just looked at the chart and was like $4.50. And I got stopped out in profit at 4.42, like 2, basically.
Yeah, nice trade, dude. That starting reminds me of like Stargate. It looks like a Stargate. When like March 2022, when Stargate came out, that was so sick.
Yeah.
The AVAX summit, we were in Barcelona, just like we literally on the last night of Barcelona, we were up to like 4 a.m. We just had the TV in our flat, like the big screen. We had Stargate, and it was just like go. Like we were so long just from. They're like, because remember their pre-sale, they had a public sale and it didn't sell out, so you could just like infinite bid 65 cents, and it never sold out. And so we were almost nervous. We're like, oh, I guess nobody likes it. And then it went $4. Like, no,
Stargate had a initial sale that got botted by fucking Tabasco.
Yeah, that was the seed, or like that was like the public pre, but the public main, when they opened up all their like pools, that you could. It started at like 50 cents or whatever it was, and it was just going to go till it ran out, but it stopped at like 65 cents and nobody wanted it anymore. And so we loaded the boat and got a little nervous because we're like, oh, it didn't sell out. I get maybe there's no flavor. It's 2022 now. And then when it launched and we were all in Barcelona, and it just tore ass up to like 420. And
whoa, Jules going for it, baby. Yeah.
So that did look a bit like that.
Gorgeous.
I don't know about Stargate. They're talking about Hxro. They have confirmed the ZRO airdrop will occur sometime no, they didn't actually say airdrop. They just said there will be a token. We're going to come out and confirm that. They said first half 2024 is the goal. And just on that announcement, there was a really nice candle on Stargate. So I think we can look to Stargate for first half 2024. Like, I'd say keep an eye on it. It doesn't look very compelling right now.
Well, we've got
Layer Zero. When it comes out,
Layer Zero is going to be massive.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So when Layer Zero comes out,
massive.
I still don't think people understand, and myself included, like, what's the point of, like, is Stargate is like a thing built on top of Layer Zero?
Stargate is actually not that great, actually, from a tech perspective compared to Layer Zero. It's a derivative of Layer Zero.
It's basically like a proof of concept
version. Yes.
Okay, so what happened? That's
a concept.
Yeah, so buying STG in anticipation of hype building around that token because of this new token that maybe is going to render it obsolete. Like, is it, or are they going to operate in parallel? Like, I don't fully understand that. All I know is apes are apes, and when ZRO comes out, or Zero, when there's talk of that, I imagine Stargate will rip. But for now, it's not where I want to.
This chart is sex.
Yeah, you've been talking about longing FTM for a little bit here. How's that going?
I've tried so many times, and I finally got it.
Nice.
Yeah.
There's no better feeling than not giving up and then being rewarded.
Yeah.
Like today when I gave up on AVAX, had I not, I would have been rewarded.
Yeah. Although I do think it's going to $55, dude.
Sorry,
I really do.
I'm a mess right now. No, I'm actually feeling much better. But when you're sick and then you're not sick, but then the cough remains.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, I get that worse than most, I think.
What about this freak of nature, dude?
Dude, yeah. Who even knew INJ was an L1? Not me. It was just a ticker. I never actually looked into it ever. Whoops. Wouldn't be the first time.
That was nuts, dude. I've ended up like capitulating in at like near the ATH, and I was like, whatever, I need to start staking this because like protocols are going to start building here and I want to get snapshotted. So I bought a bag and staked it on Kepler. I did not expect it to nearly double from that.
I know, dude. That's a really sick move. And that kind of goes back to what Jedi was asking before about like the dislocation of markets, in the sense where you could have like a stall here, a bear over here, and an insane like price discovery bull over here. The market is maturing, and it is just so nice to see.
Yeah.
Even if I don't own any INJ, I'm just happy for the cause, because that means that my bag could pump in the middle of whatever else is going on. Like, you never know.
Your bag, dude. I picked up some of this and staked it.
I don't have any of this anymore, but yes, I appreciate that you remember. I've been talking about this all year. I might get some soon. It's kind of in this sweet little consolidation moment. And don't they have their chain going live on the Cosmos pretty soon? Or it's already live?
I think it is live.
I think it is live.
So
bridging there takes 48 hours.
Oh, and they're also turning on the switch soon. When is that? That should have some.
I don't know, but I'm excited. I get staking rewards in USDC, but I'm hoping that there is like an airdrop for some strange reason.
What would they airdrop? Like
Not them, someone else.
Oh, like 2 DYDX stakers.
Yeah, bro.
It'd be cool if every time they listed a new coin, they airdropped like a little bit of it to their stakers or something.
That's how Cosmos works, dude. You just stake.
I know. I staked Secret for a year, so I've had a little dabbling on the Kepler side. And I got some Shade protocol from that. That was fun. I've not gone as far in as you have, like getting into like, but that's really the play right now, I think, is what I'm trying to do. We talked about this on stream last week, was like getting these free positions banged out and then taking that free position and figuring out where to like just stake it for a while.
Oh, someone told us to talk about this, Namada. So this is cosmospug.com. where I look at all the Cosmos airdrops.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of new ones there over the last like 2 weeks. But Namada is built on Anoma, which is an intent-based platform. I watched like 4 hours of developer conferences about Anoma and
Nerd.
intents after we talked about it.
You would do something like that, Cody.
Such a nerd.
And it's pretty interesting, dude.
This is privacy, right? Somebody on stream kind of hit us up about this.
Yeah.
Or sorry, on Twitter, I mean, yeah.
It is, but I think it's only privacy insofar as intent-based protocols are privacy preserving or maximizing. I don't know, but yeah, they're airdropping to Cosmos, Osmo, and some NFT stakers. But yeah, Namada and Anoma are your intent-based things. And then I also checked out Dimension, which Ansem shielded us, and started qualifying for that airdrop. So if you want to stake TIA, staking TIA will get you Dimension airdrop. You can also test out their platform and get a roll app. And pretty bullish on this actually now that I've done some investigating. But yeah, like I don't know, like if we do get a nuke in 3 months of sideways, like I will have, you know, cash to buy dips, but like the drawdown I experience on the rest of my portfolio, like I'm kind of fine with. Like I feel like the worst is behind us.
The key is to just figure out where your comfort lies and your limits lie, and then like try to avoid hitting those limits, because there is nothing, saying this from experience, there's nothing more depressing than kind of thinking you're like, I'm just going to hold through whatever, and then that whatever comes and it's way worse than you thought, and you end up not holding, and then you look back and you sold the dip. Like it happens at an uncanny rate, and it happens to people who don't prepare, don't plan, don't see what could happen, and they just think like, well, you know, the good times are rolling, they're always going to roll, and then, you know, even if they don't, I know they will later. Like you don't know what's going on in those dips, bro. The dips usually end with a terrible bit of news, right? It's usually like Elizabeth Warren tries to ban crypto, and then like that's the low, but it's like that's the day where you were already feeling uncomfortable, and then you puked your guts out, and then the market reverses. Like I would just let, you don't know until you know. So figure out what your comfort is and be very certain about it.
Yeah, I kind of just got my eyes on like.
Commit.
My checklist is like, is it 2025? No. Is Bitcoin above all-time highs? No. You know, are Mad Lads at 1,000 SOL? No. Okay, then I'm done. Like, there's nothing else to talk about, right? Like,
yeah, no. So yes, and that's kind of what I was just getting at. So like, let's go see. Okay, you know what? We're gonna go see AVAX.
Okay.
Let me go to my.
You want screen share?
Yeah, just. Probably easier for this quick thought. I used this chart before for this exact example. Let's go F11. Yeah, so this is what I was trying to explain to a friend of mine, because they were messaging me in this group chat, and they were like, "Oh, what about buying what?" I said, "There's a pretty good chance," and I'm just using this as an example. This is not really representative of any massive sample of cycles, but let's just look at it. We're probably somewhere here, and I wouldn't even, okay, let me take that back. We could be into something like this, where, like you're saying, you know, none of those crazy markers have been hit. And this is where you might revisit and say, actually, now I'm ready to sell. And that's, you know, that was the cycle high. And this is what I'm talking about. People are not prepared for. And I'm not saying that's coming, but it's this kind of thing where you say to yourself,
at that point, Bitcoin was past all-time highs.
So like, point, you know what I'm saying though? Like the point is, even through really good bull markets, which is what this was, undoubtedly a very, very sweet. Oh, it's not letting me draw like this. Okay. F11 messing me up. Anyways, this was a very good bull market. But even during those, and this was true for Solana, this was true for all the stuff we made so much bank on, they all through the bull market had these moments. And these are the moments where I want to be deploying and not wondering if I held too much, if I need to reposition myself into cash, like, because shit gets really gross down here. I don't know if you guys remember. I mean, you probably do. But let's go look like Solana. This now in to that point, this was actually my best trade of 2021. Solana had a really nice start to 2021. And then we had the dog season right around here. Not saying there's any similarities to right now at all. A little bit. And then we had like, what is that? 3 months of just death. And this was extremely hard. This was extremely bearish. I remember on stream because me and Messi were going back and forth. He started shorting things. I was like, bro, that is
I
not.
remember that.
Yeah, you remember that?
Yeah.
Like the ape king with the bananas, the ape suit, and he started shorting Ethereum and shit down here.
It was
And that's not
hysterical.
even to dunk on him because within the first 2 green candles, he had already made back anything I made trying to be long because he gets such high conviction flips. But point is, I DCA'd into Solana stuff through this, like Ray and whatever else they had, Bonfita. Like I was just like anything Solana. I was just like buying a few chunks per week for a few weeks. It was probably my best trade of that cycle. And then of course and I didn't expect this, but we went just bananas. So I guess what I'm saying is who knows when it's going to come, who knows where it's going to come. Not even talking about Solana or AVAX, but this is the place to get super deploy-y. And at least the way my book operates, this is the place to get, well, maybe not on Solana. Obviously, this looks like we're just going to teleport up to here, but this part of the market from like a narrative or like a sentiment is kind of where I just like to accumulate cash slowly from positions that are already.
I think it's a healthy perspective to have.
That's all it is. Yeah, it's really I cannot stress enough how much it's not about calling tops. It is, and you shouldn't make anything in your life about calling tops or bottoms. It's just about
in fact, it's like
paying
saying
yourself.
like I'm probably before the top, and that's the point. That's the whole ass point. Yeah, I don't want
to be in the top. Like it's fun to sell the top, but it's very hard and it's a stupid goal. I'm going to buy this kind of stuff and I'm going to get paid during this kind of stuff, and I'm going to miss out on like probably this, and this, and that's okay.
So I actually managed to sell the top on, or close to the top on cock.
Oh yeah, you fucking just the tippy tip.
Sold the tip top on cock,
just below. Like it just for me, I was feeling like this thing really is a little bit cookie, and I actually expected the same thing for the hat. Like the hat for me, I'm actually surprised it's still carrying on. To be honest, I'm very surprised.
It's a better meme than BONK.
I think it is.
What is it? Cock? Is it like I'm picturing like a rooster?
Yeah, it's a rooster. Yeah.
Is it a rooster? Okay.
It's actually pretty cool. The logo is great. It's been derived off something that's been present on Avalanche for a while. It's the chicken guys are kind of like, they say they're indirectly involved, but I don't quite.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at this. I mean, this thing hit the reload zone today. So not like, I don't know if you can bid this on chain if there's any limit order operators over there, but
you can buy it on
to the point of like chill out, and then like if you really want to buy something, just like bid these zones. And you would have got picked up, and you'd already be up like what, 50%, 40%.
Wow, yeah,
sweet. Yeah.
It's interesting
how easy it is in hindsight. Like
it's so easy.
True. Yeah.
Hindsight trading is actually one of my better skills.
Dude, recently we've been having like basically you just sell the weekend, buy Sunday, sell Monday, buy Tuesday evening, sell Wednesday evening. Like it's been on off through the week, and weekends have been pretty abjectly terrible.
Yeah, don't you love these? Like I saw some like guys are like, oh yeah, GG, like on Sunday night, because they threw, they've been calling for this kind of top stuff for the week, and then like Sunday came and it did feel pretty gross. You're sitting at home, there's not much happening in the world, so all you can do is stare at the candles, and they were like gross. And then I looked on Twitter and it was like, good game, bros, it's been fun, and like there was so much victory lapping. Bitcoin hadn't even broken structure, and there was literal like Bitcoin broke structure. I'm like, no, it didn't. on
Didn't.
any significant time frame. And
Yeah.
then of course, like Monday, it was just like go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
It's
I
amazing.
think we get a few more weeks of that, TBH.
Yeah, I could see it, dude. I really don't think it's wise to get too excited about being a top until the catalyst happens. The catalyst is clear as day. It's fucking telegraphed for you. They even were kind enough to give us like a high probability window. It's like Jan 4th to Jan 10th, and just like let it happen, let it be. And I could even say that to myself. The reason I found myself in a unique position is because my two biggest bags were HNT and DSO. It wasn't like they're less liquid.
And they kind of did the thing, right? Like
they did the thing. They ripped. They absolutely ripped. Now I didn't actually take much off on DSO. It's just I just moved it off the exchange because I didn't want to have weak hands about it. Because it's not very liquid. If you go look on Coinbase and you like round up to the dollar, like it's it's like 10,000 DSO would take you all the way down to here. And that's the whole book. There's just really not much there. And the same thing is true to like 50. So it's like fundamentally, I'm like, damn, this thing, I can already hear someone shilling it to me at $1,000 being like, DSO's so cheap. And so like I'm holding for that shill and probably still holding a bit longer. And I called Rob yesterday. I was like, Rob, I just looked at the site. It's so sick. Like, I don't want to sell this thing. Like, I was like, I'm going to move my funds off Coinbase. Because for me, it's like I'm in baby mode on the weekends, and then you see that gross weekend price action, and this thing will be off like 40% from the highs, and I'll be sitting there with my finger on the button. Like, I just don't want any of that. It's like, go park it, chill, and
it's the right way to do it.
Yeah, no touching. So, but anyways, yeah, HNT's been good, but I'm done with it short term for the trade. I think it's going to go higher, but it's a little bit too thin of a book for me.
Yeah.
Anyways,
one bit of guidance I've had is that I bought a Saga, and I don't know when it comes.
I got one too.
Nice. We caught it, dude. We
caught it. I know. Right at the last day, I was like, "Fuck it."
I'm just hoping we don't get cancellation emails because those have been going around.
I heard that. Yeah, I think that's bullshit. I'll call totally direct. I'll be like, "Hey,
totally. To put
I know you have like 20 of these under your bed. Homie. Like, send me one."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then influencers claiming they have warehouses full of Saga phones when there's only like 20K.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there will be way more, but these are going to be the V1s exclusive.
Yeah.
Should have bought 10, but no big deal.
So the one thing I really believe in my heart of hearts is that when I get the Saga phone, BONK will be at depressing levels and also near the bottom.
Ah, interesting.
It's going
because people will get they'll finally get their Sagas, they'll sell them, they'll sell the BONK and just be like, whatever, this is a bad decision. And then it will move, and then it will go insane.
I bought it out of the mania, like it's not like, oh man, I'm gonna get my 30 million BONK. Like, I think I have 30 million BONK sitting around somewhere. Like, it was more about having the secure element. These ledgers are getting a little sketchy, and then it was like, wait, I could have a phone, just get some like burner SIM card in it, and I could like do my trading from that, and then presumably a lot of apps will be built to like, I just thought it seemed cool. And like with the mania going on, I could tell they were about to run out, so I was like, okay, I want one. And now I'm like finding out like the new meta hopefully is going to become like, if you want to be a project on Solana that's in the hands of every core OG Solana bro, you airdrop to the phone holders at like the NFT phone that have that phone NFT untransferable. So even if I sold my phone to somebody, I mean, I guess if it's in the phone's wallet, whatever. Point is, I'm excited for the potential, and I feel like I nailed it. Like after missing BONK and some other things, and then this one, I'm like, I got the phone trade. Yeah, baby. But
we're gonna do that with our LARP NFT collection. We're gonna basically give you a nice NFT, or you can buy a nice NFT. There's only gonna be 400 of them, so I'm gonna quickly do an advert for our LARP NFT. But the LARP NFT will give you a lifetime membership into the meal deal, which will be what we think will be proper alpha, as opposed to what all these other clowns are trying to tell you what alpha is. I promise you, we will give you alpha.
We know that. I love your shit.
And we'll do thank you, sir. And we'll also do airdrops, and we'll give shit away, and we'll do functions, and we're just going to load that thing up any opportunity we can. I mean, the money we make out of that mint, we're just going to plow straight back in. We're not going
Not
to
gonna
take
lie.
a cent. Yeah.
Kind of hoping for an honorary LARP badge. I've never had an honorary NFT. And then I saw yesterday you guys tweeted out, you were like, yeah, we did this for our team and, you know, a couple of our closer allies. And I was like, oh, looking down the list for mine, like the kid in gym class not getting picked. And cried a little bit. It's okay.
You never know what's coming.
Take note, RT sad. No, actually, when you first announced that, I was like, yo, I'm in. Like, where do I buy? And then I saw all the quests and I was like, dude, I got twins now. Like, I can't quest with you guys. But if any one of those questers ever decides to sell on whatever, OpenSea or something, I do want one. I want in on your meal deals. And I love the meal deal thing. I think that's
Give me that meal deal, dude.
Yeah. The meme-ishness of it is awesome.
Yeah.
Real quick, BONK, we should talk about, you know, what the hell happened to BONK? It's just turned into like cock whiff mania, but I think
it's very poetic and makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Well, I knew when I bought my phone, I was like, that is it for BONK. Like in that, within 24 hours, it just was going insanity. And I was like, people's like, it's always going to go higher than you think. I was like, dude, this is higher than we thought. Let's be honest. Like it's higher than everyone thought. That's why it's making fucking headlines.
Oh no, like throw it on the weekly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just a dildo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it went higher than we thought. It caused a mania. That mania has kicked off a rotation game for the ages. I love it. And I love your thesis about sort of when that phone arrives and having a week or two to chill. And I'm just curious if that's here and then we have some more fun, or if that's more like through here. But
I think it's more like through there for sure.
I think it's longer than people want, as most things are. Like said this way back about HBAR. Was HBAR? Where was HBAR to start? Was it on Coinbase? I remember this one. Yeah, where was it? Where was HBAR when it first traded? Because they had a Google partnership announcement. Yeah, there it was. So this year, so like just to give, and then we'll probably wrap up here for today, but just to give a little thoughts on what vertical price action does is it creates a long drawn out consolidation. Typically the longer, like the more ridiculous. So this was just like a W setup that I remember trading at the start of 2020, and it broke out and I was like, oh cool, I'm going to trade that. And then they announced like a Google thing, some kind of like Google partnership, and it just went bzzz. And right after that, when it came off, I was just like, oh, this is going to take forever to clean up, because it just does when you have that kind of shit. And it did. But like with everything, if you wait patiently, these kinds of consolidations eventually, Anyways, that's a really ugly triangle. But point is, the crazier and stupider the verticalness of the pump, typically the longer the mess it is in the streets to clean up. And so if we go back to BONK,
if you look at BONK weekly, I think it's just going to be a diagonal zigzag up into the right.
Hasn't Doge done very similar kind of things to this?
Yes, the whole reference is a Doge fractal.
Just go to the Doge chart. It's like the dogs create clearly these. Look, I mean, already you can see it.
Oh, look at that. I guess I was planning to buy that at some point. I didn't have bids there. Whoops. Should have bought. Yeah. Oh, so you think we're going like this? I mean, this was Elon fuel. I don't know.
I'm talking about like literally
just structure RT, just the way it's structured.
Yeah. Like you are here kind of thing.
Maybe.
This would be sick if you were here. I mean,
that's where you are on BONK, dude.
Yeah.
I don't remember what was tweeted this day, but this has to be a tweet. This has to be like something happened that day. That was Elon or something. I don't know.
It's up. It's just like stupid up, and then like pump chaser zone / maybe reload zone, and then stupid up.
Yeah,
that's it. Like that's what I think BONK's going to do. I think it's going to keep going. I think right now everyone is telling all of their family about BONK and meme coin season at Christmas parties, and we're going to come back to like another BONK. Basically, like right now, everyone's been tuned into BONK, but they didn't buy, right? Yeah. And so next time when it starts going, they're gonna be like, I'm not going to miss this one. and it's going to be another mania.
So, yeah. Well, I think then if you want to be an aggressive bidder on BONK for the mid long term, then I think this kind of like 138 or whatever number that is down there. I'll just type it out because it's really hard to see. 0.0000138, like that kind of zone would be your very aggressive tag and go scenario. And then, your proper setup would probably be like something like a little more like come in here and do a W and then break out and then go. But I think if you just want to be bidding blindly, 137, 138 is actually a pretty sweet level. In fact, I may do some. I have some BONK from like hero staking and all the rest of the stuff. They were giving it out like candy for a while, but yeah, I think I might go bid that level. It's also just a nice throwback. Is it throwback over here? No, way up in the sky from over there. Damn.
Yeah.
But first bid for me, if I had to join you on this, would be in this like 618 tap, which would actually align with your Doge thesis before the mega move.
Yeah.
I'm in the process of opening one right now as we speak. I'm doing it.
What are you doing? A bid? 138?
At 138.
Fuck it. I'm going to do a bid. Is it on Coinbase? It's on Coinbase. Yeah, it is.
I think this last bit up to 540 bill on total 3, it's going to be like short as fuck. I think I got to start getting ready, actually.
Here, pull up your screen share for a sec while I go throw a stinker on BONK, because it's the kind of thing I'm going to talk about today. I'm like, this is a great level. And then like in 6 months, somebody will be like, hey, RT, that was a great level. I'll be like, oh, yeah? Didn't catch it. So you just let me go do that. Yeah, I mean, the listings, Coinbase, Binance, all listed it at the highs. Like, it's so typical. And then typically those charts will come off. So you'll look at the Coinbase chart and it'll be nothing but down only for a period.
And then it'll just go nuts.
Yeah, I think I'm going to put a bid there.
That's
not
what
like
happened when Doge and SHIB were listed on Coinbase. Like, that's exactly what happened.
I'm going to bid it exact 138, just the way I said I would. And let's see what happens. How many bonks should I buy? How many is it lost?
I don't know.
Like $1 billion?
The Saga airdrop is 30 mil.
10,000, 100,000, 1 million, 10 million. 10 million is $138. So I got to go like 100 million. Okay, $1 billion is like 13K.
Let's go.
I feel like billion's a cool number. We're going to go with $1 billion. All right. There's a bid in the book.
Let's go.
1 billion bonk. I'm going to be in the bill club if it goes to 138. So I'm going to set that 138. All right. For the memes, for the culture. I'm going to make the alert. I'm going to put a message on it. You are in the 1 bill club, kid. It's going to be like a nice message I send to myself in the future.
So children, this is what we do.
Well, yeah, I need to. I used to have the time, and I actually did rewatch a lot of our streams to watch it as an observer and pull out the actionables. You know what I mean? Like, we talk about so many ideas, but in the moment I don't take action on anything. And then at the end it's a blur and I want to take a break. So I used to circle back in the evening, sometimes even on my couch, and I just like throw up the stream for like, maybe on 1.5 speed. Anyways, today I'm just going to do it live. We'll do it live. We're bidding bonk.
Boys, I've got to call it. It's late to side. It's been fun.
Yeah, I should go too.
Been a good one, dude.
It's hard to say goodbye. Gentlemen, this is our last stream before Santa Claus comes. I'm very curious to see what's in our stockings, what's under the tree. If, of course, that's the way you like to get down around this time of year. Maybe you celebrate other stuff.
Not if you're Chewbacca, dude.
Maybe you're just the fucking, yeah. Chewbacca's got a different plan. And maybe you're just the fucking Grinch, and that's okay too. Honestly, Christmas is overrated to me. But whatever you're doing over the next few weeks, have fun, stay safe, and whatever you do, always play from a position of strength. Take care, guys.
Cheers, boys. Take it easy, everyone.
Merry holiday.